standing water in the showers.
We call it nut juice.
Did he just say nut juice?
That while you were on the state's witness list to testify in this case, the state was simultaneously, at the same time, prosecuting you for false statements and false report of a crime. They were calling you a liar at the same time that they were asking this jury to believe what you're saying. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that ironic? Day 120 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial was a huge day for the defense. Multiple defense lawyers cross-examined Woody on his lies and making up stuff to detectives. Shannon Stillwell's lawyer Max SCHARDT absolutely destroys the state's theory later in this video. This might be one of the best days the defense lawyers have ever had. It's mainly because of Max SCHARDT in the last half of this video, so stick around, hit subscribe, join the channel membership. Let's go, boys. There's Thug on day 120 and Shannon Stillwell behind him. It's a clean suit.
And 2023, do you remember being housed? By housed, I mean you're in custody and put in the Fayette County Jail. Is that your memory?
Yes.
Okay. And the Fayette County Jail recorded calls that you made?
Yes.
All right.
If I give my testimony, I've listened. I'm like, I don't want to have nothing to do with this case. I don't got anything to say. I'm not a witness or whatever. I'm like, man, I just asked it. I mean, y'all not putting me a part of it. So it's okay. We don't need you. Like, we have so many people telling on Young Thug. I'm like, well, you know what I mean? I just asked it. Y'all don't try to drag me in it. You know what I mean?
State said, we don't need you. We have so many people telling on Young Thug.
Instead of y'all just leave me alone, just let me get peace. Y'all try to drag me into this shit here. It's just shit that really be bothering me. I'm like, man, my whole thing is I'm trying to prove my innocence. Y'all trying to pin a murder charge on me. Hey, man, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with no murder. Everybody saying I did it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I lied on Thug because, you know what I mean, I found out that he I can't say that. I can't say that on the phone, but you know what I mean. It's some shit happened between me and him back then, and just so happened I got a lot of other mistakes.
I lied on Thug. Some shit happened between me and him. I can't say that on the phone. So this is all good for the defense to show this to the jury, obviously.
Oh, why did they say? Didn't you say something about Quindarius Jackson?
Who?
Quindarius Jackson.
Yeah, I think they did say that name. They said something in the goddamn name.
I'm saying they said that he a witness.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah. Then he out.
He out.
Yeah, they let D for Cleveland.
They who?
Let D for Cleveland.
They're talking about Lil D from Cleveland. Quindarius Zachary got out, and he's a witness on the trial.
He must let pick and choose. They gonna let out.
They pick and choose who they let out.
Oh, you said, well, she ain't had nothing to do with that, and you want to put that in her car. And then Rab looked out about this coach saying something. That little bitch nigga.
What happened?
Bro, he's funny as shit laughing at this stuff.
Gotta be the main one. I don't know nobody else, but he just here. He's laughing. I just want to say, look, you little dick in the booty, bitch. Don't just delete this shit.
You take the number?
Yeah, I say so, yeah. He's my the boy for real reporter, Johnny Brasco. I said, you a real boy.
Yeah, man, he's not real.
You a real boy. This man's family members are funny as shit, too.
Down there every day, but he want to be,
Keep reading.
What?
During that call, your voice, yourself explained that you blame yourself for thinking that you have all the sense, but it backfired on you, that they are doing it intentionally, but it still won't make you testify. And you say you can't talk on the phone, but you don't remember what was in the video. You said when you got locked up, you were saying anything to get them to let you go. It backfired on you, and it's nothing but BS. You say the word, and that's what they're putting out there. Did you hear all that?
Yes.
Nah, this shit backfired on. Man, when I got locked up, man, I was trying to say whatever got him to get these people to let me go.
If Ms. Combs said he heard it, I don't know why we're replaying, because I have an objection to replaying it if he said he heard it.
It's so hard for the jurors, in my opinion.
Well, you just read what you said was said, and he affirmed it, so we don't need to hear it again.
So the state's allowed to take weeks for their case, but a defense lawyer wants to just repeat stuff to make sure the jury heard it and take a day or two. You know, that's a problem, but the state can just take months on end for stupid shit.
You said that you didn't think that this SHI, I'm just not saying the word blank, was going to go that far, and that they, meaning the prosecution, the police, knew that you were BSing. Did you hear you say that?
Yes.
I want to ask you also, did you hear in this February 19, 2023 recorded call, and by the way, tell the jurors who you're speaking with in relation to you.
A friend.
Did you hear you discuss and you say that this is crazy, you tried to talk your way out of it, it didn't work, your friend says that's the problem, is that you talk too much and that you need to be quiet. They are trying to make it seem like it's you and Thug. You said that when they came to see you, you don't know anything about anybody else. You said you told the police and the prosecutors you made all of this SHI blank up to try to finesse your way out of jail. Did you hear something to that effect?
Yes.
And who is the person, when you said when they came to see you, who are you referring to?
Them two right there.
Points right at the state.
The two prosecutors sitting at the front table before the Honorable Judge Whitaker?
Yes.
Ms. Hilton?
Huh?
Ms. Hilton?
And Ms. Love.
And did you tell them back in 2023 that what you said previously was to finesse your way out of jail and it's untrue?
Yes.
Did you make that clear?
Yes.
You thought that they would believe what you said back in 2015 and let you go, but it didn't work?
Yes.
When you say, I thought that they would believe what I said and let you go, who are you referring to?
The police.
Okay.
The gang unit.
Who is the MF you're referring to? If you lied on the MF, who are you pointing at?
Thug.
And you made that clear to these prosecutors and the police?
Yes.
So Brian Steele's just showing more that he was clearly a liar.
The interrogation footage video.
Do you know who put that video on the internet before this trial started?
I don't know who did
Do
it.
you have a belief who did it?
Yes.
And who are you referring to who did that?
Objection. Relevant to who he believes.
Goes to a state of
And
mind.
speculation.
Goes to a state of mind on the conversations that you're referring to. It puts it in context.
I'll allow it.
The state.
Imagine the jury hearing this.
By the state, the same people you've been referring to?
I can't say specific if it was them, but the state did it.
Okay. What did that have an effect on you or your family when you believe the state of Georgia put out your interrogation?
If everybody say I'm a snitch, this and then third, they believe that I'd be like, okay, and just do what they want me to do.
And is that, there was a mention in the last recording that your friend was saying, or your sister, we're getting a lawyer, they put us in harm's way. Was that a lawyer for
To go out to the state?
for putting that video out?
Yes, to see who put it up.
No probation, no paper, no nothing. I turn this shit down. I turn him down every time they came to me. I turn him down. Tell my lawyer, no, turn him down. My lawyer said him. He finally said him. Look, they cannot contact me at all. We don't want to talk to them. Do no negotiate with them or nothing. Now all of a sudden this shit they pop up. But now, listen, bro. When I told them they wasting their time, bro, they look like she want to get on her knees and beg me, please, bro. I just looked at her like, man, get out my face, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, a lady? It was a lady?
The one who be in courtroom, the deputy DA.
He just said one of Miss Love or Miss Hilton would be on her knees begging him to testify.
I guess they just determined. I'm like, man, listen, man, I made all this shit up, man. They trying to talk my way out of jail, bro.
I made all this shit up trying to talk my way out of jail.
Man, my look at me like, man, I like, shit, what you want me to say? We just want to know how it is going. I didn't grow up, man. I'm from a whole other neighborhood. Like, they gonna try to talk to my attorney, and then they'll be coming back. I said, y'all be coming back for what? Y'all waste y'all time. Y'all might go find somebody else.
My sister and a friend.
And the friend this time is a man. It sounds like a man's voice. Is that accurate?
Yes.
So you feel like you made them shake their tail when you first got locked up. They offered you a year in jail. You turned them down, and now your lawyer has told them not to contact you at all. And then all of a sudden, the video of your interrogation pops up. Do you remember hearing that?
I said, chase they tail.
Chase that down. Okay. And who are the they that you're talking about when you say you think you made them mad? Who are you
police.
Your main thing was you were saying thug and was trying to let you go, trying to get them to let you go. And you said that if you would let go, you were out of there, but they weren't going for it. Do you remember hearing that?
Yes.
It is crazy that people don't pay attention. If you wanted to tell, you could have easily told if you had something to tell. You remember hearing that?
Yes.
You explained that you told them people that they're wasting their time, and the lady acted like she wanted to get on her knees and beg and plead. You said you told them to get out of your face, and then the man asked which lady. Do you remember that?
Miss Love.
Miss Love.
On the recording, the deputy DA. That's who you just pointed to?
Miss Love.
You said you told them, Miss Love, that you made it all up trying to talk your way out of jail. Is that what you said on the recording?
Miss Love.
You told her that?
Yes.
And then you said that they asked about how it was growing up, and you said, I didn't grow up with them. You're from a whole different neighborhood. Did you hear that?
Yes. So she asked me who my lawyer was, that she was gonna reach out to my lawyer and try to get them to get me in court. So if they were to help me get in court, would I cooperate? I said, get me in court and we'll see.
You wanted to get out of jail?
Yes.
You get charged with murder of Donovan Thomas in October 2015.
Yes.
You then go before Judge Totenberg, federal Judge Totenberg, in
Yes.
the Northern District, Georgia, receive 60 months in custody.
Well, actually, I fought my case for 40 months because the lawyers who I had representing me over there kept telling me that the prosecutor wanted to talk to me and they wouldn't fight for me. So I had to write letters to the judge, ask for new lawyers. So I had to fire you 2 lawyers because I kept telling them I didn't want to talk to them. I made it up. And then I didn't trust them.
Did Jeffrey Williams ever pay in any of your court, you have a lot of court appearances. Did he ever pay for any of your lawyers?
No.
After June 10th, 2015, consistently you said this is all a lie.
Right.
And you told the authorities, whether federal or state police, district attorney's office.
Yeah, it was just they would like contact your lawyer when you ready to cooperate.
When you said that Mr. Garlington told you that Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Shannon Stillwell were in the vehicle that shot at and killed Donovan Thomas, was that true or was that part of this lie?
Yeah, I told him I made it up. He never told me they did it.
And you made that clear to the authorities as well?
I can't recall if I told them that, but I can't fully tell them I made it up.
Voice of Jeffrey's sister, you know her, I believe, is Max. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And she said that she asked about a bond and you had a $15,000 bond through a bonding company.
Yes.
Tell Jeffrey you love him. He said, I love you too. You got to get your mind together. You are tripping. Did you hear that?
Yes.
We're not effed up no more. You got to get out of the streets. Did you hear all that?
Yes.
On January 7th of 2015, when that Infinity rental car was rented at the Atlanta airport, Mr. Copeland, did you have a credit card that you could at that time rent a car?
I don't even have a driving license.
What is the driving distance, if you can do it, from where Donovan Thomas was shot to the Green Store? Can you give the jurors an idea of how close or how far that is?
5 minutes.
You left the Atlanta, Georgia area for safety. Is that true?
Yes. Because the detective told me to leave.
Was it Detective Thorpe? Do you remember?
Yes.
Did Jeffrey ever give you any money ever for committing a crime for him?
I never committed a crime for him.
That was my next question. Prosecutor and police ever showed you any recordings of any of those calls that you had with them besides the interrogations that we had?
My first time ever seeing these two was during this trial right here. I never talked to nobody outside of these two right here.
Okay, and when these two, you mean Miss Hilton, Miss Love?
Yes.
And all those communications, Detective Dennis, did anyone ever show you, let you listen to any of the recordings that you had with them? Every time that you met with them? Did you ever have that outside of these video audio
No.
Did you ever see a report that was showing you, hey, you said this on this date?
No.
All right, so Brian Still's done with cross. Did really good. Casting more doubt on the whole state's theory. Let's see what Doug Weinstein does here.
I'm Diamante Kendrick's attorney. I think you know him as Yak, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Doug actually tweeted out today that he was nervous during cross. So I saw that earlier. Let's see if we can tell he's nervous here.
You would tell the police anything to stay out of jail, right?
Yes.
Tell me if you remember this. You said yesterday, quote, Rice Street is not prisoner jail. I don't know what that place is. It's the worst place in the world. Do you remember saying that?
It is.
Why'd you say that?
Because it's the worst place in the world that I don't been to.
You've heard the word, I'm just going to say it once. You've heard the word bullshit a bunch the past couple of days. So we'll just say BS. Is that basically what you were telling the police, BS?
Yes.
So you're a bullshit artist. You're a BS artist.
I said, as you can see.
Or at least you were several years ago, correct?
And I told him that.
Heard things from Mr. Garlington, from Lil D, about them guys shot Thug. That was a lie, correct?
It was.
And about Yak being a driver. That was a lie, correct?
It was.
When you would tell these lies, I think you testified earlier that what you would do is sprinkle in like a few grains of truth in the lie. Is that correct?
It's the only way you can be convincing.
Can you explain to the jury that technique that you would use?
You hear stuff, you know what's true, and you know it's not true. So you take this right here and put it with that right there.
You told the prosecutors, you told them before June 7th of this year that what you had told the police, what you told those detectives in 2015 was a lie.
I told them when they came to see me, yes.
And you told them on June 7th it was a lie. June 7th of this year. That was that Friday.
I don't know. When y'all go to using dates.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say what date, but I told him.
And the date I'm referring to, if this helps you at all, is that first Friday that you came to court here on this case. You told them it was a lie on that date.
I can't say what, I told him, I can't say what date.
Okay. They sent you away to jail for the weekend and you came back on that Monday. But you said, my hand to God, you're telling the truth now. What you said back in 2015 was a lie. Do you remember saying that?
And I still am saying it.
That what you're saying on the stand today is the truth.
Yes.
About coming to God lately. Do you recall that conversation you had with him? Would you relate that conversation to the jury, please?
Objection on relevance.
It goes to his credibility today on the stand, Your Honor. And what did you mean by God was at work in your life now?
It's an interesting route for Weinstein to bring up God right now.
And you told him a lot about God entering your life lately, but you told him that when you saw this indictment and this case come out, that you realized that God was at work in your life. And I asked, what did you mean by that when you told him that?
Because God is real. God is real.
And you have that in your mind when you said on the stand that you put your hand to God and what you're saying on the stand is the truth right now. That's with you knowing that God is real. Is that correct?
Yes.
That was with God in your mind, correct?
It's in my heart, not my mind.
Why is this actually very believable? I don't know, like making Woody look like a human and that he's telling the truth now and everything was a lie, but who knows? Like, was it really? I don't know at this point, dude. But this seems believable. So now Marquavius Huey's lawyer's up. He's going to touch on the Instagram post that the state pointed out.
On your clothing, is there anything that suggests YSL on it?
No.
Do you see the person to your right in that photograph? Is that Mr. Huey in that photograph?
With the white t-shirt?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at Mr. Huey. Take a look at his t-shirt. Do you see anything written on his shirt? Anything YSL on it?
It's a white t-shirt.
Okay. Let's look around his neck. Do you see any fancy jewelry around his neck?
No.
To your knowledge, did you see, or Mr. Huey have a handgun on him?
No.
How about this person, Nard? Did you see him with any type of handguns on that day?
No.
Were you all meeting there to do a crime or anything of that nature?
No, we were chilling the whole day.
So I think what he's going for here is that this is pointless. Like the picture doesn't prove anything.
Any AKs, any rifles or anything in the background in this photograph?
Huh?
Any picture, any weapons?
No.
Nothing about this photograph suggesting that you all are asking anyone to participate in any type of YSL gang or anything of that nature, is there?
YSL ain't a gang.
Or what was the message you were sending with your hands together like that?
Peace.
Does it represent anything to do with any type of gang or anything of that nature?
No, that's how I bought them. It's a broken heart.
A broken heart.
On my pants lid, yeah.
Gotcha.
I actually still got the pants.
Okay. Do you even know why this picture was even put up in evidence?
I don't have a clue.
All right, so both Doug Weinstein and Mr. Matthews short cross for those two. All right, Shannon Stillwell's lawyer Max SCHARDT up.
You do not want to be here today.
Yeah.
And the reason you don't want to be here today is not because you're scared, correct?
You know that.
It is because what you said in 2015 were lies.
Right.
When you said that the meek young Garlington told you something at that McDonald's about Mr. Stillwell, that was a lie.
Right.
You lied to get out of trouble.
Right.
You lied as part of your finesse to the police.
Right.
You have testified that if the police mentioned anyone, you were going to come up with a story about them to get yourself out of trouble.
As y'all seen.
And the police mentioned Jeffrey Williams.
Right.
They called him a big fish.
Right.
And you lied on Jeffrey Williams.
Right.
That the police were saying some things, such as Jeffrey's on a European tour, or Shannon's on the street and you're in here with us, to try to get you to tell on other people, correct?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Is that how you took those statements at the time?
I don't get what you're saying.
Did you take those statements when Investigator Dennis told you that Jeffrey's on a European tour while you're sitting in the investigator's room, or Shannon's on the street while you're in the interview room? Did you take those statements as invitations to give information on other people?
Yeah, that's what they were doing the whole time. He got these big houses and cars, and I think that was Dennis kept saying it all the time.
That's not the only time law enforcement talked about Shannon in your interviews, is it? They would talk about Shannon a lot.
Yeah, right.
And the reality is you didn't only lie on Jeffrey, but you also lied on Shannon.
Yes.
And you also lied on Mr. Kendrick, correct?
Yes.
Walking around the Texaco changing cars?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not going to play that video again.
Thank God.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one that's saying that.
He said thank God to the gas station video being played again.
You didn't see Shannon changing cars at that Texaco either, did you?
No.
So he just points out another lie that Shannon never switched cars.
Remember when you were in the judge's chambers?
I'm listening.
So we're clear, you didn't request to speak to the judge or the prosecutors, did you?
I had no clue where I was going.
And you had been in jail the weekend before.
Yes.
And guards brought you to the judge's chambers.
Going to the ex parte meeting?
In the judge's chambers, did you tell Miss Hilton that you've never been truthful in your life? Yes. Except when you're telling them that you're a liar.
Right.
You didn't want immunity, but they gave you immunity.
Yes, they forced it.
Okay. To Miss Hilton, did you tell her, I did these crimes?
Yes.
And they have insisted that you testify, correct?
Yes.
To your understanding, did the state, when they were trying to find you in the community, did they reach out to your attorney, or did they go behind your attorney to talk to you?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Was Mr. Melnick there for those meetings with Miss Hilton in the community?
No.
I'm not going to ask anything too personal, but I'm going to ask a little bit about your life. Okay? Is that okay with you?
No.
Your life hasn't always been easy.
My life ain't never been easy.
Okay. Your life has never been easy. And there have been times where you have been in dangerous situations in your life. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Did you stop at the red lights?
Hell no.
Okay, you said hell no.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you stop at red lights?
Because I want to live.
Isn't that crazy? Bro's scared to stop at a red light. If you're a target in the streets, a red light is the usual place where someone will shoot your ass.
When you say because you want to live, what are you afraid of at red lights? What is your concern?
Somebody pulling up on the side of my car?
Someone pulling up on the side of the car and shooting you, correct?
Yes.
And so when you pull up to red lights, you might stop briefly, but then you...
I'm not stopping at all.
Okay, so you just keep going.
Right through it.
Okay. Do you prefer to drive cars with tinted windows?
This a must.
That's a must. Why is that a must?
Can't be in no fish bowl.
So people don't know I'm in their car.
Why don't you want people to know you're in that car?
Because they like to shoot at cars.
When they arrested you on that probation warrant and you stayed there for several weeks, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember exactly how long you stayed there?
Yes.
How long?
3 weeks.
So that would have been February 21st to the middle of March of 2015.
Yes.
Okay. And in that, first of all, in Rice Street in general, there's dorms, right? No privacy.
Correct.
Showers in common areas.
Correct.
Toilets. You don't get a special room to use the bathroom.
Right.
Okay. It's filthy. You talk about feces.
All the time.
On the ground, on the walls, things like that.
Yes.
Standing water in the showers.
Who?
Standing water.
We call it nut juice.
Did he just say nut juice? Bro, what is this trial, bro?
We call it nut juice.
What do you call it?
Nut juice.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Sharp, let's get on. We're painting the picture. Let's get on with what you want to ask.
Obviously, Rice Street was terrible, and he just say anything to get out of jail type shit.
In Rice Street. To avoid that filth, you would be willing to tell lies, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is it unusual for people to have shanks in Rice Street?
You saying do they have them?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it a concern of yours that someone that doesn't like you would have a shank in Rice Street?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Of 2015, you were arrested, and let's be clear, you feel it was a bogus probation warrant, correct?
It was.
Right. You were on probation and they accused you of not completing your community service.
And I didn't even have community service
Right.
to do.
And even if you did, you never heard of anyone getting locked up for failing to do community service on probation.
I even called my probation officer and she said she didn't do it.
Right.
That's actually kind of fucked up.
They put you in isolation, correct?
That's what you want to call it.
There was sick people. It was disgusting. People were talking to themselves.
Yes. People were doing worse stuff than that, eating their stuff.
Eating they stuff? What, like eating their shit or something? What's he talking about?
I hate jail. I promise you God, man.
Because you want to live it out.
I will take these niggas guns and bring you out myself. I will set them up myself. I will do whatever it takes. I will, man. I will.
And you told investigator Dennis that you'd rather be dead than be sent back to jail.
Still will.
And you said you will do anything to stay out of jail.
That's what he said.
Do anything includes lying on others, correct?
Yes.
They just told you, if you don't remember, just say, I don't recall, correct?
Yes.
The reality is, they just wanted to play those statements. That's why they wanted you here today, correct?
Objection or speculation.
Sustained.
This meeting with Detective Thorpe would have been hours after Demekion made that statement, correct? It would have been the same night, just after midnight.
It would have been.
Detective Thorpe asked you about the Donovan Thomas shooting, correct?
That's what his papers are calling me down there.
And you went into details about everything that happened that day, correct?
I guess.
You never claimed that Demekion Garlington told you that Shannon Stillwell, Diamante Kendricks, Duop, and Nard killed Donovan Thomas, did you? You never told him that on January 11, 2015.
No, I didn't.
And the reason you didn't tell him that is because you hadn't made up that lie yet, correct?
Right.
Let's talk about January 28th, 2015. That was your second recorded statement. 18 days after, if Demekion Garlington had told you that information, it would have been 18 days later, this statement.
I guess. I don't keep up with time.
Okay, 28 minus 10 is 18. So 18 days between January 10th, 2015 and January 28th, 2015. You with me?
All right.
All right, cool. To Investigator Dennis, when asked who you think killed Nut, you're saying, they're saying, meaning the streets, right? Streets are saying Head and Doc, who are two people you know.
Right.
Those are street names, Head and Doc.
Right.
Streets are saying they did it, but you don't believe that.
Right.
Good point from Mr. Shard.
And I paused in the middle. I probably shouldn't have, but you started talking about the rumor was Nut ran off with something.
That's what I said.
Okay, and something would be narcotics.
Yes.
Nowhere in that answer did you say, well, Demekion Garlington told me that Shannon and Mr. Kendricks and Duop and Nard killed Nut.
I did say that.
You didn't say that on January 28th.
I didn't say that.
Correct.
That's Shannon calling me right there. Bro, this guy, man.
Birdman being behind killing Donovan Thomas because Donovan Thomas stole a watch of Birdman's, right? You heard that?
Yes.
And you said you don't know anything about that or you doubt it, correct?
Yes.
All right. And then he asked about, I think he said Thugger. We're talking about Jeffrey Williams. And you said you don't know nothing about that.
Right.
Correct? Who killed Donovan Thomas? You never said that Demekion Garlington told you that Shannon, Mr. Kendricks, Nard, and Duop killed Donovan Thomas, did you?
Because he didn't tell me that.
I understand. A female friend of yours was at the studio and she was told that Kel and Kay had robbed somebody.
That's what I said?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that the people that Kel and Kay robbed came back and killed Donovan Thomas as revenge for being robbed.
Yes.
And you said that Kay then started putting it on you to cover his own tracks.
Yes.
Once again, showing the jury an alternate theory than what the state says.
But you never said, detectives, let me tell you, Demekion Garlington told me that Shannon, Mr. Kendricks, Duop, and Nard killed Nut, did you?
I never said that.
And the reason you never said that on January 28th, 2015 is because you hadn't made up that lie yet, had you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had, or no, you hadn't?
I haven't.
These are good points from Shard.
Made up that lie, let's just be clear. On January 28th, 2015, no one was trying to lock you up, right?
I just didn't have no reason to.
Right. You had no reason to finesse at that time.
Right.
Didn't they find stolen IDs and other stolen property?
That was a rental car. Oh,
Okay.
my mama rented.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. They found a stolen IDs and other property in a rental car that was associated with you, correct? That you had been driving.
Yes.
During the interview, Investigator Gaither informed you that you were under arrest for various charges, correct?
Yes.
And you were under investigation for various other charges. She told you that you were being charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon for the gun at the Dunbar Rec Center. She told you that you were being charged with reckless conduct for leaving the gun on the bleachers at the Dunbar Rec Center.
Yes.
She told you that you were being charged with gang charges for possessing a gun at the Dunbar Rec Center. You knew that you weren't getting a bond for the gang charges at first appearance.
Right.
You were going to have to sit for a while because of those gang charges.
Yes.
Unless something drastic happened.
Yes.
They were investigating the stolen MacBook computer found in your apartment.
Yes.
Shard's going over all the reasons why Woody would want to talk and say anything.
That stolen property found in the rental car was taken during a series of auto breakings in the area, correct?
Yes.
Potentially federal charges.
Yes.
For the gun that was found in the apartment, correct?
Yes.
Investigator Gaither told you it's real now, it's about to be real, right?
Yes.
She was telling you, the way you took it, it was time to get to talking, correct?
Yes.
If you wanted to get out anytime soon.
Yes.
You just heard Investigator Gaither say, this is your opportunity for you to help you. Heard that?
Yes.
You took that to mean that this is your chance to give the state or give the police what they want to help your situation.
Nah, this is game time. It's time for me to finish my way.
Did you hear him say, you need to speak on what you need to speak on, right after bringing up Jeffrey Williams and the European tour?
Y'all ears work better than mine. So you heard what he said. I can't say.
Okay. What did you take that to mean when Investigator Gaither says you're going to jail, but you get to determine how long?
She gave me hope.
And what would you have to do to determine? You wanted to not be in jail at all, but certainly not long, correct?
Right.
So what did you feel you needed to do?
Listen to her and seek and finish my way out of it.
Does that include lying?
That's the first thing first.
I ain't doing nothing. When people are blaming me, they need to be looking at Shannon. That was not true. That was you trying to shift blame from yourself. That was you finessing.
But I already said it.
I understand that. But that's an example of you finessing, correct? And shifting the blame from you to Shannon, right?
I said that to you. And I said that to them. And I'm saying it again. I have lied. And you're going to keep sitting here asking me the same question. You just said a minute ago you weren't going to ask me the same question.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't understand that. Each defense lawyer wants to get their points across, and it could, overlap.
Ms. Copeland, these are just some examples. The reality is the detectives in this case had been encouraging you to tell stories on others to get yourself out of trouble. Correct?
For the 100th time, I've been telling you that.
Shard's just trying to get the point across that he was being pressured by detectives and he could have just made anything up. And it's not like they verified a lot of it.
But the detectives were also encouraging you to finesse, correct?
Well, they were tricking me.
You asked him to rent you a car, and it ended up being a gray Infiniti, correct? Going into the morning of June 10th, the same day that Donovan Thomas was shot, you were driving that Infiniti on the highway, correct?
I don't know. I can't remember when I was driving it.
Evening of January 9th. It was nighttime that you wrecked.
It was nighttime.
You were speeding on the highway and you hit some cones.
I lost control, yeah.
And that was Lil D from Cleveland was in that car, that Infiniti, with you on the night you wrecked.
Yes.
Okay. And after wrecking the car, you guys reattached the bumper on the side of the highway, correct?
How you know that?
Is it true?
I'm listening.
Okay.
How you know that?
And you gave that Infiniti to your good friend, threat in the early morning hours of January 10th, 2015, correct?
I gave it to him at nighttime. It was dark.
So you don't remember if it was before midnight or after midnight. Is that what you're saying?
I don't keep up with the time.
Okay, that's fine. In that clip, you're being asked about how those stolen items ended up in your apartment and your rental car, correct?
Yes.
And you're telling the investigators that you didn't do those auto breakings that resulted in those items being stolen, correct?
Right.
You're saying it was Little Mike and Quez from Etheridge?
Yes.
Who the fuck is that?
Mr. Copeland, Lil Mike is not a real person, is he?
No.
That was a finesse. You invented a person out of thin air, correct?
Yes.
Quez is not a real person. You invented him out of thin air on the spot, correct?
Yes.
You invented those people to take the heat off of you and put it on fictional characters.
I done told y'all this is what I do.
That's your finesse.
Okay, Woody might be the smartest motherfucker on the planet. What? I thought this was all cap, honestly.
If that's not your gun in the car, and if you were just walking, why do you have a magazine with bullets in your pocket? Correct? You remember them asking you that?
Can I speak to my lawyer?
Yes. Well,
Yes, you can. Let's take a break.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. He wants to check with his lawyer first?
you were being accused of possession of a firearm and driving offenses. In that statement you gave on October 27, 2021, you were denying possessing the firearm that was found in the car that they said was being driven by you.
Yes.
What I was asking you about is your pockets being searched after your arrest.
I'm listening.
Okay. And the reality is the police did search your pockets and they found a magazine and some bullets. And Investigator Viverito told you that, correct?
I don't recall.
Okay. Told Investigator Viverito the magazine and the bullets were in your pocket because you had just grabbed someone else's pants and put them on, correct?
What a terrible excuse. That's actually so funny. I grabbed my friend's pants. That's why I have bullets in my pants.
The reality, Mr. Copeland, is that those were your pants.
Prove it.
Okay.
You say prove it?
You're aware that Rich Homie Quan's father does own a barbershop in Atlanta, correct?
I guess.
Okay. 2014, someone shot up Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop, correct?
I guess.
Okay. And this was a big deal. Rich Homie Quan, at least at that time, was a well-known rapper.
I'm listening.
And Rich Homie Quan was trying to find answers to who shot up his father's barbershop, correct?
That's
I mean, he came to you for answers.
All right.
You knew Rich Homie Quan, right?
Something like that.
Okay. And he came to you for answers, and he told you that he thought Trevante Turner, Threat, shot up his father's barbershop.
Right.
And you took it upon yourself to convince Rich Homie Quan that it was not Threat.
Right.
You did that, at least partially, because you knew that Rich Homie Quan was thinking about putting money on Threat's head, correct?
I'm listening.
And when I say money on Threat's head, taking out a contract to have Rich Homie, to have Trevante Turner, Threat, killed.
I'm listening.
25,000, right?
I'm listening.
Okay. We still haven't gotten to the barbershop part, but in there, you're talking about conversations with Rich Homie Quan and his problems being linked to the Bloods, correct?
I guess.
Okay. And Rich Homie Quan not really being built like that.
For sure.
Okay. And the fact that he was scared to leave the Bloods, but in your opinion, they wanted to use Rich Homie Quan for his money.
I'm talking to the police.
Okay. But that's what's being discussed.
All right.
I'm not saying it's the truth. That's what's being discussed, though.
All right.
Okay. So it wasn't just a barbershop that was shot. His barbershop was shot, but he actually got shot in the barbershop, correct?
I don't know nothing about all that.
Okay. Well, that's what you said. You said that Rich Homie
I'm talking to the police again.
Okay. A man from Bankhead with money hired someone from Johnson Road to do it, right?
I'm listening.
Is that correct? Is that what you said?
That's what I said.
Okay.
So if I'm having a conversation with Rich Homie and he trying to put some money on my friend, you think I'm really having a conversation with him? It don't make any sense.
Can I finish my question? What you told the police, not saying it's the truth, what you told the police is that you talked to Rich Homie Quan and tried to convince him that Tay did not shoot up his father's barbershop because Rich Homie Quan had $25,000 on his head, right? That's what you told the police.
Never put the police on what's going on. Mislead the police. That's always the mindset.
Once you were given immunity as a witness in this case, you testified in court when Miss Hilton was asking questions that it was in fact you and Trevante Turner who shot up Rich Homie Quan's barbershop, didn't you?
How many times we gonna go over this?
Okay, so Shard just pointing out that he clearly lied in another interview. Now that he has immunity, whatever he said, saying that him and Threat did it, that's the truth. But back then he was lying.
You and Trevante Turner, in fact, shot up Rich Homie Quan's barbershop. Correct?
I'm listening.
The reality is there's somebody from Bankhead with some money, those details, somebody from Bankhead with money, that was completely made up. Correct?
Right. I done told y'all 100 times I don't lie. You sitting right here keep trying to throw it in my face. I'm admitted to I lied.
I'm not trying to throw it in your face, Mr. Copeland. It's a chain of the Planter's Peanut Man. And that is Donovan Thomas's chain. And that is a chain that he owned 2015, correct?
I guess.
That you never had any problem with Nut, that you and Nut were okay. Correct?
I'm listening.
Okay. You specifically said, I've never tried to fight him. I've never tried to rob him. I've never tried to do nothing to Nut.
Right.
You were saying that someone stole a chain from Nut, correct? The peanut chain.
Yeah.
That person, and not only his chain, but his ID, his wallet, his phone, correct?
Right.
And that person happened to give you Donovan Thomas's belongings.
Right.
You said, you told the police, you realized it was Donovan Thomas's chain. And you called Nut and wanted to return his stuff. And specifically, right before we paused it, you said You didn't want to tell Donovan Thomas who took it, right?
Right.
You wouldn't want to tell Donovan Thomas who took it because Donovan Thomas is what some people might say is the big homie. The reality is, late in 2014, you broke into Donovan Thomas's truck. Isn't that correct?
The door was open.
The reality is, you knew that was Donovan Thomas's truck. You know what he drove.
Did he just say the door was open?
You knew it was Donovan Thomas's peanut chain, but you didn't care. You wanted to disrespect Donovan Thomas. You wanted to take his stuff. Isn't that correct?
It wasn't about disrespecting him.
That Donovan Thomas knew that you stole his stuff.
I ain't still.
Objection, speculation.
The reality is that you knew you bit off more than you could chew.
It does sound like the situation that happened. I mean, why would you ever return stuff? You realize you fucked up and you're like, shit, I gotta return this shit I stole.
Donovan Thomas was coming after you.
Objection, speculation. Based on the evidence, relevance.
Sustained.
The reality is, you made up this whole story about returning his chain, about your partner breaking in, and all the rest to try to throw Donovan Thomas off of your scent, correct? But Donovan Thomas knew that you ain't never have no problems with Donovan Thomas, that you and Nut were cool. You never brought up the chain, did you? When you said you ain't never tried to rob him, you ain't done nothing to Donovan Thomas, you never brought up the chain, did you?
That ain't robbery.
You and Donovan Thomas were far from cool.
I mean, it's obvious they were far from cool, but Shard's doing a very good job here.
Pardon my language, it pissed you off.
Just like you is.
Okay.
Just like you is. Oh, he's getting mad at Shard here?
You found out that Nut and rich homie Quan were outside the TIG studios on Metropolitan Avenue, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Got in that rented Infinity and drove up to that studio, didn't you?
Your Honor, objection, assuming facts, not in evidence.
I'll allow it.
You took your gun with you. You stood outside the fence and you shot at TIG studios.
Whoa, so he's bringing up the TIG studio shooting, saying Woody was responsible. So this throws a wrench in the entire state's theory here, that's why.
Put a bullet in rich homie Quan's truck, did you not?
You got proof?
Was Trevante with you when you went to the TIG studios?
Did you got proof?
That's not on now. He has immunity, so he could admit it, but...
You're charged with false report of a crime and false statements, 2 felonies, correct?
Right.
Arrest warrants taken out for you for false report of a crime and false statements that you believe are still pending against you.
Yeah.
The allegations against you that you believe are pending, you accused a jail worker or a deputy of spraying with OC spray at the jail.
Right.
And the deputy's supervisors reviewed the videotape from the jail and determined that the jail worker did not have OC spray on her and did not spray you with any OC spray in the jail. Isn't that correct?
Right.
What the okay. Why would he do that?
Did you know that the state, while this trial was going on, dismissed that case against you?
I didn't know that.
Well, I brought you good news.
What? How does he not know that, and why was it dismissed? This is very suspect.
The facts of this case have been reviewed, and although it appears that probable cause existed for the defendant's arrest, the decision of the district attorney at this time is not to prosecute the above-named defendant. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
It says, the reasons for this decision are as follows. Prosecutorial discretion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
The person whose name is on this document is FANI T. Willis, correct?
Why is FANI dropping these charges, bro? That's really sus.
But isn't it true that while you were on the state's witness list to testify in this case, the state was simultaneously, at the same time, prosecuting you for false statements and false report of a crime? Isn't that true? They were calling you a liar at the same time that they were asking this jury to believe what you're saying. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
That is insane. Isn't that ironic? Literally the worst star witness for the state of all time, bro. You're currently charging him with false statements, then you drop it because you're like, shit, he's our star witness.
Back in 2015, you didn't know any of these gentlemen to have a personal beef with Donovan Thomas.
I never said I did.
Okay. The reality, you were the person who had a problem with Donovan Thomas. Isn't that correct? You were the one that broke into Donovan Thomas's car, correct?
So facts, not in evidence.
Overruled.
You've admitted to it. You're the one that stole Donovan Thomas's chain, correct?
Dude, he is shitting on the state's theory in front of the jury right now. This is bad. And Shard is doing the best out of all the defense lawyers here. It's more clear than Steele's.
Shout out Donovan Thomas's friend, Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop in 2014, correct? You're the one that was going back and forth with Donovan Thomas's brother, Kelvin Watts, correct? You've called his brother a waste of space in October 2021, didn't you?
Mr. Copeland's not answering the question, so
yeah,
he's
apparently Mr. Shard doesn't care whether he answers or not, so fine with me.
Woody is getting pissed at not answering questions, and Shard just keeps going. He doesn't give a shit. He's getting his points across.
If he wants an answer, he can say that.
You called Kelvin Watts a waste of space in October 2021, didn't you?
And I don't think nobody walking Earth would not agree with it.
You said that people would cheer if he died, correct?
I will, back in the days.
You shot at Donovan Thomas's brother, Kelvin Watts, correct? You're the one who got jumped by Donovan Thomas's brother on January 6, 2015 at Club Crucial, correct? You, not any of these gentlemen, right? And you're the one that shot up TIG recording studio on January 8th, 2015. Isn't that correct?
He's not even answering.
That Mo, from behind the wall, had put the green light on you. Not anyone else. He put the green light on you for what was going on with you. The guy who stole from Donovan Thomas. The guy who shot up the studio with Rich Homie Quan and Donovan Thomas in the studio.
So he's throwing a wrench in the whole state's theory that the beef between YSL and IF gang and YFN and everything was because of him.
You've told the police at that meeting, Donovan Thomas went whoop, approved of the orders to kill you. You told the police that the gang members handed out guns to younger people, and the plan was to trick you to come to the gas station. And the only reason you were killed is because someone told you about it. In January 2015, Donovan Thomas was coming after you.
Extra speculation against assuming facts, not evidence.
Sustained.
Mr. Copeland, you're not the type of guy to back down, are you? No further questions.
All right.
Wow. Holy shit. Max Sharp just completely destroyed the state's theory right there. It all depends on how the jury sees all this, but Woody even stopped answering questions. That was insane. All right, hit subscribe, join the channel membership. Love you guys. Peace out.